When the agent took me to see the house, a line of words suddenly floated in front of my eyes. The male protagonist will buy back the house at 10 times the price in the future. I don't know which dead girl can make a fortune with this house. I was stunned for 3 seconds and then decisively signed the contract to buy the house. In the middle of the night, I calculated the mortgage. The more I calculated, the more desperate I became. I was wondering if I was poisoned by pinhao fans, so I believed that there were barrages in this world. As a result, the barrage exploded again. Why did the female protagonist throw away all the luxury goods given by the male protagonist? Help me, can I wear it? I really want to pick it up. I jumped up, rode the tricycle quickly, and went straight to the male and female protagonist's house. No matter whether it is true or not, this overwhelming blessing has finally come to me. Miss Xiang, you have come to see it 5 times. Although this house is old, it is really cost-effective. Don't hesitate. I held the crumpled flyer in my hand and looked at the house for the 5th time behind the real estate agent. In fact, I also know that it is cost-effective. But his down payment will empty all my savings and make me owe a lot of debt. After thinking about it, just when I was about to give up, a bunch of words suddenly appeared in front of me. The heroine actually wanted to sell this house. This was the love nest she and the hero lived in when they were the poorest. Lu Tingxiao was really too much. It's not Ping Huashen's fault that she gave up. I rubbed my eyes and found that it was not an illusion. At this time, a bullet comet passed by. I don't know who will get a bargain. Lu Tingxiao will buy it back at 10 times the price in the future. 10 times the price will make him rich. I held back my excitement and asked the agent tentatively, what is the name of the owner? He waved his hand and said, Zuking Huashen boyfriend is rich. He is not in the same class as us, otherwise this house can't be so cheap. Oh my God, actually matched those bullet comments. The real estate agent was a little impatient. Miss Xiang, why don't I help you find a cheaper one, or I will hold her down and kill her. The buyer and seller hit it off, and the formalities were completed in the morning. I moved into this house in the afternoon. According to those comments, I realized that I was living in a romance novel where the male and female protagonists were in conflict. I bought this house because I was in heat. Lying in bed at night, I looked at the empty bank card balance and felt like I was dreaming. Thinking about those words, I wondered if I was poisoned by eating too much. Who can see the comments in real life? Thinking of this, I sat up suddenly. For this house, I emptied my only 100,000 savings and took out a mortgage of hundreds of thousands. What if there is no so-called male protagonist to rely on? How can I pay off my monthly income from pancakes in my lifetime? I hit myself in frustration and white light floated in front of my eyes again. I thought I hit myself too hard and made stars in my eyes. I looked carefully and saw another barrage. Xiang Kangping Huashen baby was really angry this time. She threw away all the things Lu Tingxiao gave her. Today is their 5th anniversary. Lu Tingxiao actually sat at the mistress's house. Lu Tingxiao is too much. I thought he was not a bad person. Among the barrages of criticism against the male protagonist, one caught my attention. Baby, don't throw it away. You can get a lot of money by selling it. Is it possible to get money by throwing things away? I got up and called the agent, trying to control my trembling voice due to excitement. The original owner left some things in the house. Tell me his current address and I will send it to him. The agent had obviously just woken up from sleep. This happened in the middle of the night. Her boyfriend is the president of Lu's group and now lives in the most upscale community in the city. He doesn't need your things. When she sold the house, she said that she didn't want anything. You can just deal with the things she left behind. I didn't ask for the address. I was so anxious that I was sweating. Opportunities belong to those who are quick. If you go too late, the good things will be picked up by others. I said before he hung up the phone, this is a token between him and the male lead. What male lead? It's Mr. Lu. I see their names are engraved on it. What if there is a misunderstanding because of this? Tell me the address quickly. The agent was silent for a long time and said leisurely, then I can't tell you. I'm tired of living if you dare to spread Mr. Lu's address. After saying that, he hung up the phone. I threw the phone on the bed in anger. The barrage was still broadcasting the situation of the female lead. Damn, Biaida Ivory was willing to throw it away. Is the female lead crazy? Help, can you let me wear it? I really want to pick it up. I was so anxious that I was spinning around. Suddenly, an idea flashed in my mind. No, didn't the agent tell me the address? I put on my coat and rode my small three-wheeled pancake cart. Half an hour later, I stopped at Lanting Yufu, the most upscale community in the city. The community is quite large, but people are still coming and going at 2 o'clock in the late night. The people who throw things away are as obvious as lice on a monk's head. Zilking Washam walked to the trash can with a heavy-looking cardboard box and threw away everything inside. I was a money-spending boy. While he was going back, I rushed to the trash can, took out the sack, and started to fill it up coolly, with one eye filling things and the other eye staring at the gate of the villa. After a while, Suking Washan came out with another big box of things, and I quickly hid aside. After she left, I rushed over to continue picking up things. When the sack was almost full, Zuking Washan came out with another box. I dragged the sack again and tried to hide, but the sack was full and extremely heavy. Seeing that it was about to push the door out, I was anxious and dragged it hard. The bottom of the sack was worn out by me, and the things inside were spilled all over the floor. I was stunned and my eyes met with Zuking Washan, who was not far away. The barrage exploded. Damn, someone really picked it up. What's the difference between this and pie in the sky? Isn't this the girl who bought a house during the day? How can someone be so lucky to make two fortunes in one day? Maybe take the things back quickly. It's not too late to wake up now. Take it back and sell it yourself. Before I could react, I was already lying in front of the sack like a hen protecting her chicks. I pedaled the pancake cart to pick it up in the middle of the night. If someone takes it back, it won't be in vain, but I feel a little guilty. Zhaoqing Washan's eyes were red, and her slender body looked particularly thin in the cold wind. Although the box in her hand was full of valuables, the contrast of being loved well was even more distressing. Baby, only if you have money can you afford to leave that bastard. Love is gone, but money can't be gone too. Look at those barrages, and then look at Zuki Washanha. I softened my heart. Even though I couldn't bear to part with it, I still put away my actions. After holding it in for a long time, I endured the heartache and said, well, if you had known you wanted it earlier, I wouldn't have thrown it into the trash can. Zuking Washan squeezed out an ugly smile at me and gently placed the box at my feet. Take it all if you like. She looked at my sack with a big hole in it, thought for a moment, and said, wait for me. As she said that, she turned and trotted back to the house. After a while, she brought out 3 large woven bags. I was amazed that rich people also use woven bags. But soon the barrage let me know my shorts had tons. This is a limited edition woven bag of LV. LV is still limited edition. Your sack is broken, use this to pack it. Zhaoqing Washan squatted down and helped me put the various luxury goods scattered on the ground into LV. Oh my God, is this the charm of the heroine? I stared at her for a long time and spoke with difficulty. How much can this be sold for? Are you really giving it to me like this? She stopped what she was doing and spoke after a long time. Her voice was very nasal. I didn't need that much money anyway. Seeing that I couldn't carry 3 full LV bags by myself, she even sent me some to the pancake cart. He really made me cry. You can also make pancakes. I carefully put the 3 huge LV sacks in the car, and when I heard her say that, I straightened my chest and said, of course, my pancakes are praised by my neighbors for being delicious, and my business is pretty good. Zuking Washan raised her hand and touched my tricycle with a hint of envy in her eyes. It's great to be able to earn your own living. The barrage started to quarrel again. Selling pancakes is exposed to the wind and sun. I am so delicate that I can't endure this kind of hardship. Do you have any achievements in front of you? Selling pancakes is better than being wronged by Lu Tingxiao. I also want to eat pancakes in the middle of the night. I drool. It's already 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if Suking Washan is hungry. I guess she didn't have dinner after quarreling with Lu Tingxiao. I quickly turned on the fire and took out my tools. Shizze is so kind. A pancake vendor can't repay you. I will treat you to a family pancake. Some people are only 20 years old, but they have 10 years of experience in making pancakes. I'm not bragging. No one who has eaten my pancakes has said anything bad. Zuking Guasheng wanted to refuse, but the smell of food in the second half of the night was too tempting. She didn't say anything, just stared at my pancakes. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone in the barrage saying that Lu Tingxiao didn't see Zuking Guasheng on the surveillance camera, and no one answered the phone call, so he was rushing back. I quickly shoved a huge, luxurious pancake that was bigger than my head into Zuking Guasheng, saying, "Take it, and we'll see each other again if we're lucky. Thank you for your gift. I'll be grateful to you for the rest of my life." Before Zuking Washing could reply, I had already ridden my tricycle away. If Lu Tingxiao saw that I couldn't take any of these treasures, not to mention that I might even get retaliated against. Thinking of this, I was so anxious that I almost kicked off Sparks. After a lot of effort, I finally got everything home. I didn't even have time to catch my breath, and immediately picked up the luxury items inside and began to identify them one by one. I is Chanel, Patek, Yves Libo, and July. Every time I checked a price, I would press my philtrum for fear that I would faint from excessive excitement. The first thing I did was to choose a relatively cheap bag. When I went to a luxury goods recycling store and sold it for 20,000 yuan, the impact of the money suddenly became real. Oh my God, I am like you, and I have made it this day. As the old saying goes, people don't get rich without sudden wealth, and I also made this sudden wealth. I took the money to buy a set of similar clothes and shoes, went home and learned the dressing tutorial of a certain book, and decorated myself with the luxury goods in the woven bag. The garage said that Lu Tingxiao would come back soon to buy a house, so I had to sell all my things as soon as possible. But I had to dress myself up like a rich person first, otherwise I would be arrested by the police. I looked in the mirror and nodded with satisfaction. Well, not bad. It's true that clothes make the man. It looks pretty good, but I always feel that something is wrong. I looked in the mirror for a long time and found that it was a matter of hair and hands. Although the clothes are luxurious and the face can be modified with foundation, the hands and hair will not lie. Since I was 10 years old, I have been working in the wind and sun to make a living. My hands have long been rough and cracked, not like a young girl. I didn't dare touch silk clothes when I went to buy clothes in the afternoon, for fear that I would have to pay for it if someone touched it and pulled out the silk. In the past few years, I saved money to buy a cemetery for my grandfather. In the past few years, I bought a cemetery and wanted to buy a house. I saved money on food, and my hair looks like a bunch of dead grass that has been dead for several years because of lack of nutrition. I rubbed my head a little irritably. I never thought that one day I would be troubled by pretending to be rich. I suddenly had an idea and ran out to buy a pair of gloves and a wig. This time I looked in the mirror again. It was perfect. I blew myself a kiss. I was so beautiful. The next day I carried a lot of things to the luxury goods recycling store. I raised my chin and tried my best to imagine myself as a proud white swan, not letting my momentum fail. I was really afraid of being caught by the hat uncle for tea. Fortunately, my acting skills are not bad. Not only did the recycling staff not notice the clues, but they also said enthusiastically, "Welcome me, I will go again next time." A week later, I finally sold all my stuff, including the clothes, shoes, gloves, and wigs I bought to pretend to be rich. These things are not practical at all, and the cost effectiveness is too low. They are not worthy of being my things. Lying in bed and checking the balance of my bank card again, I felt completely different from the last time. Last time I wanted to die. This time I was scared to death. 20 million. According to the barrage, this is only a small part of the gifts Lu Tingxiao sent. The world of rich people is really unimaginable. It is so happy to suddenly become rich. In the first few days, I would wake up in the middle of the night with a smile. As soon as I opened my eyes, I would order the most expensive food, put together a meal, and then pair it with the most luxurious cheese milk capes I chun in a certain snow-ice city. These days are really getting more and more promising. After a week like this, I felt a little empty, but I paid off my mortgage. 2 weeks later, I began to miss my tricycle very much. But I am so rich. Why do I still want to be a hawker? After struggling for less than 24 hours, I got up and started stirring the batter, sighing as I stirred. This person too ambitious is not good. After nearly a month, I opened the stall again. There was already a long line of tricycles in front of the stall. I was so greedy after not opening the stall for so long. Tell me in advance if you don't open the stall next time. I made several trips in vain. You are finally here. My son has been nagging me crazy for the past month. He pesters me every day to eat the pancakes you made. The customer's complaints sounded like heavenly music in my ears. When my grandfather was seriously ill, he told me that I should stop making pancakes when I saved enough money and open a flower shop or something. Girls should not do such hard work. But Grandpa, you see, so many people like my pancakes. This is the value of my existence. How can I give up? Making pancakes is my dream. I want to make pancakes for the rest of my life. 3 days later, my pancakes all welcomed an uninvited guest. Hello, I want a super luxurious pancake as big as my head. Okay, do you want it spicy? The voice sounded familiar. I looked up. Su King Washan was looking at me with a smile, and behind him was a car that looked like a big toad. I want spicy food, but no chopped green onion and coriander. His eyes were watery, and he was beautiful, unlike the other night when they were swollen like a peat. Your pancakes are really delicious. I asked around and found out that your stall is here. I spread the pancakes neatly in my hands and took the time to raise my eyebrows proudly. No, I Xiang Yu never lie. At this time, the barrage of comments floated in front of me again. Hey, this guy Xiang Yu appears more and more often. The things he picked up last time were worth tens of millions, so why is he still making pancakes? My baby is finally willing to eat. This pancake looks so tempting. I am greedy again and I am drooling. The pancake was quickly made and handed to Zuking Wash and Hunt. She took out her mobile phone and asked, "Can I add you as a friend? I can contact you when I want to eat in the future." I swallowed the gloves, wiped my hands on the apron, and opened the scan as if I was flattered. No problem, benefactor, I will scan you. In fact, I was quite nervous, fearing that she would regret and want to take the things back. As it turned out, I was worrying too much. In the next month, he would come to buy my pancakes every 3 days in that towed car and never mention the things he gave me that night. The students started school, and my pancake business was even better. Hello, the price list is below. What kind do you want? I lowered my head to clean the operating table. I like the leisurely pancake stall. Not only must it be delicious, but also clean. But the customer didn't say anything for a long time. I looked up in confusion, and what caught my eye was a face that was so handsome that it angered both people and gods, and his whole body was full of gold. I was a little absent-minded, and the corners of my mouth curled up unconsciously. So handsome, if this was my husband. I was immersed in a pink bubble, and as soon as he opened his mouth, he pulled me out of my fantasy and asked me to be an Annie at my house. His tone was so cold that he could not be refused, with a unique flavor of a domineering president, and I woke up all of a sudden. Sure enough, the barrage was all brushing Lu Tingxiao. If nothing else, Lu Tingxiao is really handsome. The king of picking up bargains is online again. Lu Tingxiao really loves Kawashahana. This crappy novel is really looking for sugar and glass slag. What's going on? But I'm obviously not Nanny, just a pancake vendor. I looked left and right and finally pointed my index finger at myself. Me, yes, a monthly salary of 50,000. It's not about money. Me, 100,000. You misunderstood. Listen to me first. 150,000. Do you think money can decide everything? 200,000. Where is our home? Grandpa, I'm sorry, my dream has changed. He gave too much. If you don't make money, you're a bastard. I closed the stall and posted a notice on the car. The stall owner went out to earn gold coins and returned at random. The second pancake shop at the corner of the street is also delicious. If you're greedy, go to his house. Lu Tingzhao's car is big and spacious, and the car logo has a small wing, which is much more comfortable than Zuking Washnum's toad. Until we arrived at the Lanting Imperial Axe, he didn't say a word to me. I didn't know who he was looking at with his sullen face. I secretly rolled my eyes and thought of Yi Hinar Ying's famous saying, "I hate people who pretend to be rich the most." You don't like that pancake vendor very much. I invited Leola to the villa for you. Lu Tingzhao took off his suit jacket and handed it to the nanny beside him. Oh, it should be said that it is my colleague. Zukin Washan was reading a book with his head down, and he looked up when he heard it. At that moment, his originally empty eyes suddenly lit up. He stood up, and his face was full of excitement that he could not hide. You? Why are you here? Before I could say anything, Lu Tingxiao walked to her side with long legs and put his arm around her shoulders. For so many years, you have never made friends, but you are only interested in him. From now on, he will be a nanny in our house and accompany you every day. In fact, Zach Zuking Washaman are not familiar with each other. She is my benefactor and I'm just his pancake man. But who cares? It can be 200,000 a month. Zuking Washan's face suddenly turned cold and met Lu Tingzhao's eyes. Don't force him to come. No, no. I quickly waved my hand and said I was willing. Mr. Lu is so generous. I was afraid that Lu Tingxiao would regret it. After all, there was no one else who could hold Jinbai to this extent, except Zuking Washnan. I lived in the Lu family. The Lu family had no shortage of nannies. My daily task was to chat with Zuking Washnan to make his favorite pancake without chopped green onions and coriander. She was quite talkative, but when she mentioned Lu Tingzhao, she was silent most of the time, and her eyes would turn red a little. The lover she kept outside was my best friend. I threw away the melon seeds in my hand in surprise. Zuking Washan laughed at herself bitterly, right? I don't know how we got to this day. Combining her words with the barrage, I roughly understood the ins and outs of this relationship. Zuking Washan, Lu Tingxiao, and Zhang Tao were good friends since childhood. Later, Zuking Washan and Lu Tingxiao got together. He gave up his future countless times and accompanied her from obscurity to the present. But Zhang Tao had always secretly loved Lu Tingxiao. On a rainy night, he climbed into her bed while she was not awake. Lu Tingxiao loves Zuking Xianghang, but he also has a taste for Zhang Tao. In short, he is a scumbag who wants both, and Luking Washbang is betrayed by her friends, never making friends with others again, and becoming more and more close. That's why Lu Tingxiao asked me to come. I secretly sighed. It turns out that romance novels all have the same routine. Lu Tingxiao is usually very nice to Zuking Washnan, but he occasionally stays out. Every time she comes back from staying out, there will be more reed marks on her neck and a strange fragrance on her body. When she came back that day, she took off her coat and a pair of dark red lace panties fell out. Everyone's eyes were attracted by the reed. Zukin Washan's face turned pale. Lu Tingxiao frowned slightly, and his cheeks puffed up. My colleagues looked at each other and tiptoed away from the crime scene. I followed everyone and left, but quietly hid behind the door to observe the movement. Lu Tingxiao pursed his lips and said, I was careless. I won't do it next time. I cursed with the barrage. She actually apologized for not hiding Zhang Tao's panties. Zuking Washan smiled. Although she was beautiful, she looked like she had a very hard life. Lu Tingxiao, since you like her so much, just be with her. Why do you have to keep me by your side? Is it because having an affair is more exciting? Lu Tingxiao was stunned, then rubbed his eyebrows and said impatiently, Why do you have to say such harsh words? Zukin Washan suddenly smashed the vase in her hand at Lu Tingxiao's feet and shouted hysterically, I gave up gambling for you, gave up a promising job, and almost got insulted because of Zhang Tao. Why do you treat me like this? She covered her face with her hands, and her frail body trembled continuously. Lu Tingxiao's eyes were stained with a trace of guilt, and he raised his hand to hug her. Zuking Washan continued to shout at the top of his lungs, You should hide your dirty deeds instead of challenging my tolerance again and again. You are a bunch of dirty villains. Look at romance novels. A heroine scolds people so elegantly. Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao's face suddenly turned cold. He threw his coat hard on the sofa and went upstairs, leaving only one sentence. You really look like a madman now. I covered my chest, feeling that I was going to have a heart attack because of anger. It was driving people crazy. How could someone be so shameless to accuse others of being indecent? When Lu Tingxiao stepped onto the last step, Zuking Washan choked and whispered, I sold the house on Yuxing Street. It was my house. Lu Tingxiao paused and looked at him in disbelief. What did you say? Zuking Washan wiped away hurt ears and raised her chin slightly stubbornly. People have changed. What's the point of keeping a house? Lu Tingxiao stared at him for a long time without saying a word and left in anger. Zuking Washina squatted on the ground. She cried for a long time. Seeing Lu Tingxiao's indifferent look, would she really spend 10 times the price to buy the house back? At 2:30 in the morning, my question was answered. Lu Tingxiao found my phone number through the agent. Hello, sell the house on Yuxing Street to me and marry you. I raised my eyebrows, or it really came. Hey, the barrage of cool words floated up, and the word envy said, damn, Xiang Guryu is going to get rich again, damn girl. Let me play a moment into episodes. Indeed, after a month, I thought of Lu Tingxiao's dead look at night, and I was furious. That's my home. I don't plan to sell it for the time being. Anyway, if I refuse, he will come again. I'll vent my anger first. Lu Tingxiao used the usual domineering CEO routine again. I am willing to pay 10 times the market price. You have already made a fortune. Don't be too greedy. I was not moved at all. I will think about it again. And calling someone at 2:30 in the middle of the night is really uncultured, you know? After saying that, he turned off the phone. You did a good job. Today's breast was opened for me by Xiang Wei. Why do romantic novels always abuse the heroine, and the hero should also be embarrassed? I gave myself a thumbs up, not bad. Today I was very backbone and did not bow down to money. The next morning, Zhang Tao came to the door. She looked similar to Zuking Washnan, and they both wore innocent white underwear. If it weren't for the comments yesterday saying that she had hidden the red underwear on purpose, I wouldn't have known that she was so scheming. Today was a day off, and Lu Tingxiao hadn't gotten up yet. Seeing that it was Zhang Tao who came to the door, my colleagues didn't dare to stop her. It seemed that their affair was no longer a secret. King Washard, are you still angry? I send you messages every day, but you keep blocking me. Zhang Tao's words sounded humble, but there was undisguised provocation in her tone. Yesterday, Su King Washeng cried all night, and her eyes were swollen at the moment, in sharp contrast to the energetic Zhang Tao. Su King Washeng straightened his back and his eyes drooped slightly. What are you doing here? Now he's so arrogant that he's even in the house. Well, nothing much. I just lost something yesterday, and I thought it might be with Xiao, so I came to look for it. Zhang Tao pretended to be innocent and curled the ends of her hair with her fingers. Even I understood what he was talking about. This bitch Lu Tingxiao is a blind thing. When will he see Zhang Tao's true face? Zhang Tao slapped him twice, and Lu Tingxiao used the 18 dragons subduing palms. Tao, be obedient, or we will die. The barrage was filled with indignation, and I clenched my fists in anger. Zukin, Washan bit her lip, her eyes reddened. We have been friends for 20 years after all. You don't have to be so aggressive. If you like Lu Tingxiao, I will give him to you. Zhang Tao suddenly put away her smile. Her eyes flashed with viciousness. She gritted her teeth and said goodbye hatefully, pretending to be noble. It's not that you gave Vajia to me. It's that you don't have the ability to keep her heart. Zuking Washkuren was about to say something. Lu Tingxiao's unhappy voice came. Zhang Tao, who asked you to come? Zhang Tao seemed to be able to change her face. Crystal clear tears rolled down her cheeks in an instant. She rushed to Lu Tingxiao. Ah, Zhao, my doctoral dissertation was passed. I was just happy and wanted to tell you the news. But King Huan didn't seem to welcome me. Wow, I didn't expect to see a green tea performance so close in my lifetime. Looking at Zhu King Huan's expression of suppressed pain, I rubbed my hands excitedly. To be honest, I shouldn't be fired. I rushed to the living room with the red lace underwear from yesterday on the clothesline. Miss Zhang Tao, you are so young. Why do you have such a bad memory? You just said you were here to find something. Our President Liu didn't bring anything else back yesterday, only this. Take it home quickly. This thing is too smelly. It makes me vomit. I don't even dare to use my hands. Zhang Tao's face changed, and he grabbed the underwear on the clothesline and said sharply, "You bitch, what nonsense are you talking about?" Halfway through, she realized that she was a little out of control and immediately covered her mouth. Lu Tingxiao frowned and walked towards me. You, what do you want here?" I covered my nose and stepped back repeatedly. No, no, mister. You also smell bad. Please don't leave. I want to vomit. When has anyone said this to the president of Lu Group? She didn't react for a moment, but her face turned red. After a while, he turned around and coldly rebuked Zuking Washinon. "Is this your friend?" I opened my mouth to refute, but Zuking Washin held me down and shook his head at me with his hand holding the clothes hanger. "Lu Tingxiao, your people have found my home. What excuses will you use to coax me King Washan this time? Baby, don't forgive the upstairs again. Have you forgotten that this is an H-level novel and the heroine's love brain has long been hopeless? But I remember that there was no Xiang Yu in the previous plot. Now there is an extra character. Maybe the plot has changed." I looked at the barrage and turned my head to look at Zuking Wanshan. Such a beautiful, gentle, and kind person. Is she really going to be locked up in Lu Tingxiao, a rotten cucumber, for life? So this is King Huan's friend? No wonder she is so uncultured. Zhang Tao smiled. But it's not surprising. King Huan had no mother since she was a child, and no one taught her how to judge people. If King Huan's mother hadn't died in the fire, she might have been taught by her mother like me, and knew that she couldn't just be a parasite in her boyfriend's house. This murderous remark completely broke Zhu King Huan's psychological defense. Her pupils trembled violently, and the veins on the back of her clenched hands bulged. Before I could react, she slapped Zhang Tao in the face. "You are not allowed to mention my mother." Zhang Tao's chattering mouth finally closed, but a strange arc suddenly appeared on her lips. She took advantage of the force of Zhu King Huan's slap, spun half a circle and fell to the ground. The hem of her white skirt was instantly stained with blood. She looked at the large patch of red under horror and screamed heartbreakingly, "My child." Lu Tingxiao rushed over half a second later and hugged her, rambling lie. His broken voice was full of disbelief. Pregnant? I was also shocked at first, but the comments told me that Zhang Tao was not pregnant at all. She was just deliberately provoking Zuking Washan, pretending that she had a miscarriage caused by Zuking Washan. Zuking Washan covered her mouth in disbelief. On the one hand, she was sad because Zhang Tao was pregnant with Lu Tingxiao's child, and on the other hand, she blamed herself for the slap. Don't you know why you say that the heroines of romance novels are always cowardly? This melodrama supports me. I couldn't help but sneer. Zhang Tao and I flashed panic and wanted to scold me, but because of her weakness at the moment, she couldn't open her mouth. Jiang Yuyu, shut up. Lu Tingxiao's eyes were red, and he yelled at me. I sneered and said slowly, "Lu Tingxiao, I advise you to collect the blood now and find your private doctor to do an identification to see whether it is human blood or melodrama." "Oh, no, I forgot you are a pair of dogs and bitches, and your bloodline is quite authentic." I glared at him fiercely, and I didn't care about what to do. I rushed out with Zhang Tao in my arms, and before leaving, I coldly said, "Zuking Washang, Zhang Tao just said something unpleasant, but you caused her to have a miscarriage. When did you become so vicious? I misjudged you, and Zuking Washan misjudged you. You are a cheating man, and you are so excited. You treat dog blood as a child. You are so stupid. You are not worthy of Zuking Washan. A man who can't control his lower body should be chemically castrated. You rotten cucumber." I chased my colleagues who scolded me and cleaned up the blood in a hurry. "You gave me a thumbs up, you. You are really awesome." The double praise from the Barrajan colleagues made my mouth curl up. But I have completely lost this job. Zuking Washan was in a daze looking at the flowers in the yard. I couldn't bear it, so I sat next to him and watched with him. Until it was getting dark, he suddenly asked me, "You, if I had a mother, would I not be so stupid to live like this for a man?" I looked into his dark eyes and shook my head. "You are such a left-brained person. Even if you have a mother, she will be so angry that she will break off relations with you. He looked at me blankly, and I said, "You are the only one who can chat with me. They only say what I like to hear, unlike you who always tell the truth." I was silent for a long time and then slowly spoke. In fact, it is not a big deal to not have a mother. I lost my mother and father when I was 10 years old. I made pancakes with my grandfather. After 10 years of hard work, I finally succeeded in inheriting your babies and became a multi-millionaire. Suking Washan had a sympathetic look on her face, but she burst out laughing at the end. She said that she wanted to leave Lu Tingzhao, but she had been with him for too long and was reluctant to lose him. She was also afraid that she would not live well. She has completely become a laughingstock of Zhang who will definitely come to add insult to injury. I have wasted so many years and don't know how to make a living. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. Do you know how much I sold the things you lost last time? That much money is enough to live a comfortable life for a lifetime unless I start a business. Su Qingguashan lowered his eyes and shook his head. No, I don't want his money. I couldn't help but grab his shoulders and shake him hard. I wanted to shake the water out of his brain. Why don't you want it? Don't you usually watch short videos? The lawyer blogger said that the property donated voluntarily is yours. When I graduated from junior high school, I didn't want my grandfather to work too hard, so I laid to him and said that I didn't get into high school. At that time, if I had a young grandmother, I could finish high school. I was the first in the class. If I had money when my grandfather passed away, I would let him die and squeeze into a small welfare house with me. It took 5 years for her to have a cemetery for burial. Zhou Qingguashan stared at me with big eyes. I was so angry. Do you know how important money is? The barrage said that Lu Tingshao would not be back until 2 weeks later. I had to run away before he came back. She was a big man and didn't care about the little man's mistakes. I resigned on my own initiative. He shouldn't care about the few words I scolded him. After chatting with Zhu Qingguashan that day, she locked herself in her room and didn't come out for 2 whole days. I packed my luggage and knocked on her bedroom door, wanting to say goodbye to her and ask when I would get my salary for this month. I knocked for a long time. When I suspected that she had sneaked out in the middle of the night, the door finally opened. Zhu Qingguashan's face was full of excitement, her eyes sparkling, and she excitedly pulled my hand leisurely. I have thought it through. I have sacrificed so much for Lu Ingshao. Why should I leave and save money for her? In the past 2 days, I have carefully calculated that the irrevocable gift he gave me can be sold for a full 50 million. I counted on my fingers and calculated carefully that if I put this 50 million in the bank, I would have at least 5 million in return a year. I would use 100,000 to live and the remaining 1 million to open a store for trial and error. As long as I don't touch this 50 million principal, I will always have capital. His face was flushed, full of expectations for the future. What am I afraid of not living a good life? With this calculation, I am living a very good life. I also excitedly held her hand. I felt it was a pity. I have always wanted to open a chain of pancake shops. If you invest in me for the first year, I guarantee that you will make a profit. My 20 million has long been deposited in the bank and started to earn interest. There's nothing wrong with his calculation, but he was wrong in one point. Even if he used 50 million yuan of the principal, my 20 million yuan would always be her back-in. The plot has changed. I said that Shisheng Yu's role cannot be useless. Xin Huosheng baby finally stopped being in love. So, touchy. A week before Lu Yingxiao returned home, Zhu Qingguashan and I ran away together. He and I moved into the house on Meteor Street. The first thing we did when we returned home was to set up a stall to welcome customers. The familiar long queues really made me feel more at ease than the 200,000 yuan a month for the nanny. Zhou Qingguashan was busy choosing a location. He rejected my invitation to open a pancake shop and insisted on opening a fried chicken shop. He said that the profit of fried chicken is much higher than that of pancakes, and it is not so tiring. I didn't talk to him for 2 days. Lu Tingshao did ask a private doctor to identify the blood test, and it was indeed bloody. He was so angry that he slapped Jiang Tao twice and then went back to Zuking Washin to ask for forgiveness. As a result, when he got home, he found that Zuking Washin was gone. Of course, it didn't take long for President Liu to find me, and he also found that it was me who refused to sell the house at 230 in the morning. She used all kinds of tricks to ask for forgiveness. I don't know if Suking Washin was inspired by his career or if what happened that day made him completely give up and was not moved at all. Half a year later, Lu Tingxiao once again proposed to buy the house on Liu Xing Street. This time the price was 20 times, but I still refused. Zhao Qing Washan glared at me and said, "You are stupid. Why don't you sell it for 20 times? It's enough for us to change to a luxury flat." I was surprised by her change. It seems that the heroine has really let it go this time. Who is talking to you? Our house is in my name, and it's my money even if it's sold. Then give me back the things I picked up. King Kong Hua King Washan, Your Highness, which flat do you like? I will buy it for you tomorrow. Grandpa's death anniversary is coming soon. Zuking Washka wants to go with me to see him. Yin Ai's last name is Xiang. Why is your grandpa's last name Chen? She looked at Grandpa's tombstone, puzzled. I put the bouquet in my hand in front of Grandpa's tomb and stroked the tombstone lovingly with my hand. Because Grandpa is not my biological son, Grandpa only took me because he felt sorry for me. Lu Tingxiao failed to pursue his wife and vented all his anger on Zhang Tao. He really made Zhang Tao pregnant and deliberately designed her to have a miscarriage, causing Zhang Tao to lose her fertility. The angry Zhang Tao knocked Lu Tingxiao off the cliff on a rainy day, and she fell with him. I looked at the unformed car with small wings on TV, and I guess this novel has ended. Zuking Washan was sad for a few days after seeing the news, but soon had no time to be sad. He didn't know where he bought a secret fried chicken ingredient, and his business was in full swing, and he was too busy to handle it. I don't know why there are so many people who like junk food. My pancakes are so healthy, but I don't make as much as she does. It's been a good month. I just bought a pancake after finishing the check-in. Why is there another fried chicken? Hey, let's order one in the middle of the night.